Yeah, so you decided you were going to go open your own business. I'm assuming you didn't buy one. You just started.
No, I
your
didn't
own
buy
thing.
it.
Yeah.
No, I started by myself. What we did is we started off doing metal buildings in backyards, like little 30 by 40 sheds.
Okay. Yeah.
And of course, I wanted to grow the business.
Yeah.
So I made sure I found mentors, and I started to get really good at looking big on paper. So like I'd find a mentor and I'd be like, hey, what does your proposal template look like when you send it to big general contractors? He's like, son, I'll send it to you. Thank you, sir. Go in there in Word. And like every time it says his company, I put my company in. And so we like really looked the part on paper. And then getting the actual buildings up is obviously the hardest part. Yeah. Winning the job is one thing, but getting the buildings up is a completely another. So there was a whole lot of, buying my own tools out of pawn shops, or my guys would quit for 50 cents and pawn the tools, or whatever it may be. There is definitely a long road. I would say we got to over, where we were doing multi-millions of dollars by the time I was 28, and I started at 24. But I didn't really start making really, really good money until like 32.
Yeah.
I'd make a couple $100,000 a year, but we didn't start making millions in profit a year until I was about 32. So it's definitely been a ride for sure. I often say if I would have picked any other business, and I mean any other business, that I might have done a lot better.
Yeah.
But I do think construction made me who I am.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful for that.
So looking back on that from the beginning of the entrepreneurship, for those people listening that are just like, I want to start a business, whether it's real estate, construction, just whatever.
Yep.
What were some of the biggest mistakes you feel like you made that you could say, I wouldn't do that again this way?
I'll tell you the number one I think about when you ask me that is I did eMyth for 2 years.
Yep.
At like 26, maybe. It was like a year or two into the business. And it made me, it actually took my greatest superpower away, which was spending time with my guys.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by you did eMyth? Like, was that is that
So
a
I did
system?
direct consulting.
Okay.
So if you've read the book, I know
Yep.
you've read the book eMyth.
Yeah.
I started putting systems in,
Okay.
and it made me a little bit cold.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It's
for
like
sure.
it wasn't about maybe buying the guy's beer as much as it was, okay, I have to build a legitimate company, so I got to look legit, so I got to be the boss, so I got to put this checklist in this system. But the problem is that I can't just hand a guy a system or a checklist without him being part of building it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just an ignorance I had at such a young age. Now, if I'm going to build a system, I'm going to pull the people in that are going to run the system
Yeah.
and have them help me build it because they have to be bought into it. And there has to be incentive in it for them and these things. And so I thought that, okay, well, if I pay you the going wage for this job and I give you this checklist, you should do the checklist. Once the checklist is done, we make the exact amount of money that I estimated on the project. That's not how it works. Construction management school doesn't get you ready for dealing with the wives. Mm-hmm. Dude, we keep up with our main guys' wives' birthdays. Send them get their nails done. I need her to like me.
Yeah.
I need her to be allies with us because if I need him to go to New York or California or the moon to put up a building, I want her on my side. And I just wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wasn't there. Like I didn't know. I thought, well, if we put these systems in just like eMyth, then he'll follow it. We'll never have a mistake. We're good. No, that is not true.